beat will inspire you for an idea for a song. And sometimes you'll have an idea for a song already, and you're just seeking that beat for it.
I rent cars in different cities and just go ride and listen to beats. And like, I love to ride and write, you know, like not literally writing it down, but just rapping. It's fun to do.
I pick my topics first. That's something I do differently too. Like, I start with the titles. Then I get the beat, match the beat with the title. Then I write.
Certain lines is, I don't know where they come. Like when I said she got a light-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson, got a dark-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson. There's no theory behind that line. It's just funny and shit. You know what I'm saying? Whereas other lines have theory behind them. You know, people could say, yo, I'm gonna compare how many throwbacks I got to how many guns I got to how much coke I get. And then it's like in theory raps. There are already formats for that. I like to come up with lines so there's no format for them.
I've been listening to a lot of, listening to a lot of artists like Fabulous and, stuff like that. And I'm listening to their flows and I'm like, oh, I got it. So a lot of their stuff, because it'll be a lot of punchline heavy. And the last line will always be something funny or catchy. And everybody be like, oh. And it's like, okay, so they come up with that first. Then they'll come up with the rhyming words to put before it. You know what I mean? So if you notice a lot of their rhymes, the lead up, like the rhyme word that they have, the pre-word, is always whatever, but the end is always like, oh.
I can write a whole song in less than an hour and a half and spit it like it's a freestyle, like it flows. It won't sound like I'm reading, but that's something that you have to perfect. There's other guys like Biggie and Jay-Z who don't write anything down. They only write a couple of words down, if anything. But what they do is take the beat and memorize the whole thing, the verses, the hook. That takes time.
Like Jay saying he never wrote a rhyme down and he just got it up here. And I asked him, I was like, how do you do that? He was like, oh, I lost about 2 or 3 albums that way, And I was like, okay.
I don't write lyrics, so I just went in there and just, did it and shit.
It just comes off the top of your head?
Yeah, but it's not really a freestyle because I organize it, in my head. It ain't like I'm just winging in the shit. The shit is organized, but you could say it's a freestyle. It's just not written. It's an organized freestyle.
If you don't have some kind of sense of writing things that aren't raps, like writing poems or writing stories, that you're gonna have problems writing a rap because, you gotta you gotta rhyme on top of everything. So you gotta end these phrases and you gotta keep rhyming and you gotta keep telling the story. So you gotta kind of not lose your direction from beginning to end.
I always had a thing for writing rhymes, like poetry and shit like that. When I was in elementary school, I used to win contests, writing poems and shit, you know what I mean? And so I always could put words together and make them rhyme, but this rap shit just, once I just got all the way serious with it, it wasn't no looking back after that.
Some of my most fun songs I did, like where I felt like I had to do research and stuff. It felt like a project or a book report or somewhere. I was like, damn. Like when I did this record called A Song for Assata, it was about Assata Shakur, and it stemmed from me just reading her autobiography. And then I was like, man, I want to do a song like people need to know this story. And I went and read the book like 2 or 3 times. I went down to Cuba. It was like I had to feel every element that I could, without being there, so that I could write the story.
I make the songs to entertain me, and then I know that others will embrace it too, you know what I mean? So it's all in fun, just tell stories, try to give a little shock, bring about emotion.
I think about how they react to a certain point in a song. So, a lot of times I try to build it up like an adventure, like the Alicia Keys song for the whole last verse for about 2 minutes. She's just talking on her cell phone to the guy, trying to introduce herself for the first time. And it's just something that people aren't doing on records now, making them more adventurous, turning them into movies.
A rap or rhyme ain't nothing without rhythm, which means an MC has to deal with structure. That's verses and hooks, all hanging on the beats and bars, yo.
A bar is when you have 4 beats, like
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. So when they say 16 bars, they mean like 16 bars of those. And then usually a chorus comes in and there's like another 16. It's like, like a standard song format.
Right now, the standard right now for MCs is 16 bars, a hook, 16 bars, a hook, 16 bars, a hook. It's been put out there, and music has become such a business that that formula has actually been put into lyrics. So now you have people who come into the game like, I got 16, like I got 16.
Go and pop in any joint right now and listen to one verse. A verse meaning before the chorus ends and before the chorus starts again.
Good song arrangement is sometimes rare. I mean, you could stay within the mathematics of 16s and 8-bar choruses, but it's about what you do within that 16 or that 8-bar chorus that makes a song interesting.
It's mathematically written, ordained by God as a classical piece to spit passionately, mimics the clapping of heat over immaculate beats to capture the beast. My verses touch the youth like Catholic priests.
But to be real good, a song needs more than hot 16s, you know what I'm saying? It's gotta have a hook.
Hook is a part of the song you want to sing over and over and over again.
Talented young artists come up, and that's one thing that they don't start with. Hooks. In the rap world, the hook that's your chorus, because it's like that kind of has to sell your song. You know, I'm always dealing with, you need a hook, the hook's gotta be better in the industry, the hook, you know, everything is, you know, it's the jingle.
That catches the listener's ears, that makes your record huge.
The part of the song that people are gonna wanna say back, the part that hooks you in.
Big pimpin', spinach. I don't even know what they said after that, but I just know big pimpin', spinach, G's, you know what I'm saying? I know that those are good choruses, those are good hooks that get you.
Do that, which is nothing but, you know, it was kind of like a hook that people caught on because they would listen to the song and say, oh, I like that part when he goes like that. Okay, just that part, you know.
Like Just to Get By, what I did, I was actually watching the Transformers movie, and they had this song, you got the touch, you got the power. And I remember 80s ballads, how they could rock stadiums and people throwing their hands up like this and like just getting all excited with the music, those 80s power ballads. And I said, why don't we bring choruses that are like 80s power ballads to hip hop? And that's what Just to Get By is. This morning, I woke up feeling brand new. I jumped up. This morning, I woke up feeling brand new. I jumped up, feeling That's like stadium music right there.
You can have a hook within the verse as well. You could be saying something in your verse that people will catch on to.
Big, he used to just go, He got $1 million, It's something about when he go, that was crazy.
You ain't phasing the amazing.
And then every MC has to be mindful of flow and rhythm.
A pattern is like when you show a person, all right, yeah, you see these drums right here, this is gonna be the bottom. This is gonna be the bottom. So therefore, the highs is gonna kick in a certain way to where you gonna feel like when you rhyming, you gotta have a certain kind of flow together for it.
Humpty Hump and Slick Rick rhyme from the nasal palate. Nas rhymes from the back of his throat. Biggie is a swinger. He swings like a horn player over jazz. B-I-G-P-O, P-P-A, no info for the D-E-A. He put more emphasis on the He's just spelling his name. But the flow, vicious. Pac, on the other hand, I think Tupac pulled from Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I don't know when it is that we're gonna make it to the mountaintop, but one day all the children will be able to play together, all the children, It's like pouring those words out because you mean it. And that's why, you know, I never had a father figure, but I was raised by the thugs and the drug dealers. That's why I love niggas. That singing that Pac was doing and his stuff.
You just can't ignore the way that I say it for sure. The way that I play it is raw. The way that I say it and flee. I be out the booth before you invoice the fee. You got a million brothers who rhyme, and they might be, the beat is here and they might be right here. Or the beat is here and they might be under here. But if you in a pattern, you right here with it. You riding right here. You know what I'm saying? You flipping your shit to where when you got it locked, the shit sound easy.
Can it be? The Casanova speech therapy that heavily puts the flavor right where it should be. My words have been connected to the poets of old. The way I utilize a pen and turn ink to gold. And keep it overly creative, innovator of soul. Now check the flavor from the beta, which my DJ holds. Come on.
I get down in the studio. Have you heard? Have you heard? Thank you.
One of the biggest jobs and where the written rhymes go from paper and become a song is working in the studio. And in hip hop today, the studio can be almost anywhere.
We have people who grew up MCing and people who have regular jobs and do what they do on a 9-to-5 basis, but in their spare time write rhymes or buy studio equipment, have little studios in their house and make little tapes and, you know, circulate them and everything.
Well, basically the whole Internal Affairs album was recorded here at Grandma's hands, and I knew that I wanted kind of like a raw feel. So even if I was a record dealist at the time, but even if I was, you know, had a big budget, I think we would have chose to do it in a certain manner. You know, at the time we were working with ADATs, we weren't even like using Pro Tools, and it brought about a feeling for the song, I think, the feeling for the album as a whole.
When we're in the studio, it's like, it's such a chill atmosphere, you know? It's not tense or we gotta get this record out. Because we did this in Chad's attic, like, way before, you know, anybody knew who the Neptunes were. And it takes a lot of the stress out of it because this is what we're used to. This is what we've been doing. And it's like, you'd be a damn fool to get a deal and freeze up and lock up and act like you don't know what to do in the studio.
If possible, try to demo it, even a cheap recorder, demo of it. Sometimes hearing it a lot and you kind of learn it, and it allows you to be able to come off better when you do actually record it. It's like a rough draft, and you can listen to it and go, oh, that's cool, but when I get in there, I'm gonna change this or something, you know?
A lot of times when you in the big 48 track joint at Sony, you get a little comfortable. And it's a little too pretty. But I think the advantage of doing it at home is you're not constrained to, you have an hour left, finish your mix, you're just sitting here at your leisure eating, some string beans and and some lima beans, and you're just, let's finish tomorrow.
The studio is getting built in the house. I don't have to come in you sick master studio no more. You feel me? Only thing I gotta do is take it to y'all motherfuckers and get it mixed and mastered.
Just like every MC has their own style and flow, they also have their own way of, working in the studio.
Once you demo a song and you know the lyrics really well and you know the expressions of how you want to say something, it usually comes off better in the studio. It just is a lot. It just comes off better than someone who writes in the studio and goes in there and it just doesn't seem to be as smooth because, they're kind of, in a way, reading and learning at the same time as recording them.
Lately, it really a lot. I've been, just coming up with stuff while I'm there, just trying to feel the vibes and just catch the moment, rather than focus hella hard on the lyrics, just like catch the vibe of the song and just convey it through the feeling.
In my world, you shouldn't even come to the studio and write rhymes. If we're tracking a beat and we're getting ready to lay some vocals after we finish tracking, make sure you're ready. Don't sit there and start writing while we're tracking, and then you're sitting there, your rhyme is half-assed.
Whatever you think my greatest song or my greatest rhyme was, I probably wrote it right there. I never really spent weeks on it, you know what I'm saying? I never really did that yet. And that's gonna come in a minute, and that's when I'm gonna be crazy. That's when it's gonna be over for these facts, you know what I mean?
And for every MC, the atmosphere in the studio is as important for the creative process as the beat and rhyme, yo.
We need a mic, we need an LB, you know what I'm saying? We need the ill lyrics, the trees, the women. It's poppin'. Let's get it poppin'.
No, I don't like to drink. I don't like to smoke. So none of that takes part in the studio. And as a matter of fact, I really don't like the producers that I'm dealing with to do that in the studio either, because it kind of messes with my vibe. I can see if we was all smoking and drinking together, cool, but when one is and one's not, it's kind of hard to gel.
Working in the studio ain't just about standing in a booth in front of a mic, you know what I mean? Knowing the tools and the tricks is as much a part of the technique to making a great song.
You know, you have your choice of how you want to go about making music. You could learn an instrument and get a band, or you can sample music. I think the essential producer, you know, has whichever piece of beat sampling, record sampling piece he's going to have, whether it's still a 1200 or a 950 or MPC 60 or
the QY100, you know what I'm saying, by Yamaha. And it's a MIDI controller, right? So basically what this does is it controls the other instruments I have. So I could compose a whole tune on this, you know what I'm saying, the different parts of a song by measures, you know what I'm saying, each note. And then this will control whatever else I want.
So usually it's based off a sample. Maybe I have a really good idea, song idea, and then I'll go back and make the track around it. A lot of my tracks, like nowadays, I'm using like live strings. I use Miri Ben-Ari, guitars, keyboard players to duplicate the sample. And I still leave the sample in there so people don't know if it's a sample, what it is. It's like just a new form. I might be giving away a little bit too much information right now, but hey, you know, when people bite, I'll like make up something new, so.
essentially like if you got 8 tracks of music, you got a snare, hi-hat, kick drum, bass line, keyboards, and horns. It's all separated through 8 different lines of on the mixing console. And that doesn't include your vocals. And this is done so everything can be EQ'd specifically, individually, and your vocals can be recorded individually, and basically you can get levels and, you know, do a mix on your songs.
What I'll show you right here is the tricks of the stanchion. You know, the 1200 can't do this. Check it out. Backwards at the same speed, 45. And what you can do at the same time, what you can do is change the pitch. Keep the speed. It's a beautiful thing.
Going out on the stage and performing in front of an audience is a way for the MC to, you know, try out new material and promote themselves to old and new listeners alike. Yeah, the live show is the core and life's blood of an MC's work.
Being able to connect with the audience and to make them react. So the live element is a big, important factor in MCing.
I love performing. Performing is the shit. This is where I get to penetrate, you know, everything about the next individual. You know what I'm saying? This is how I get into the individual's mind. This is how I get to get into the individual's body, you know, their soul.
It's a full sensory experience, you know what I'm saying? Like you touching the crowd, you hearing the music, you smelling the weed smoke, you know what I'm saying?
The feeling is when you walk out on stage and it's just a couple of thousand people in the house and they just go fucking crazy, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't even got to say, and you ain't even said nothing yet.
When you get up on stage, it's like you get to show a whole nother you, and you get to uncover all that shyness and everything, and just all the attention is on you. I mean, MCs, they like attention at the end of the day. That's just what it boils down to.
Because every time you take that stage, you are the main act, steal the show. I don't give a fuck. I heard DMX say, I don't give a fuck if I go first, middle, or last. It's gonna be my show. You know what I'm saying? That's what I try to do. Every time I get on stage, this is my fucking show.
I definitely need a shot of liquor or some wine or something when I'm live, because even though I did millions of shows, I still get butterflies, whether it's a hole in a wall or arena. So it's just something about that.
Sometimes it's good to be like
tense and frustrated when you rhyme, because then because rhyming is like, man, for me it's like a psychological release.
I might be tense, I might be feeling tied up, but right after you get off stage, you give a good performance, you just feel so relieved and,
Yeah, when I break it, I brag. Keep your eyes on the dog tag. Watch close, yeah, yo, I do my thing.
Recording rhymes in the studio and MCing on stage require different techniques. How does a pro deal with the stage experience?
That the MC should always see beforehand where he or she is going to MC. You're not always going to get that luxury. That's why when you enter a club, we got no time to be shaking people's hands, and people know me all the time. I come in the club, cats want to talk. I mean, listen, I'm studying right now. And usually I am. I walk in the club, I'm looking for the hottest mic. I'm looking to see if the DJ is, what breaks did he play? What is this crowd like? Are they feeling him? Are they feeling that? Let me walk to the house. Let me see what it looks like from the house. Maybe the stage is lower than the house. Let me see what that is. You have to study your craft like anything. You can't just freestyle your career. You never cuff the ball of the mic. Many rappers cuff the ball of the mic.
Cuff the mic. I think that's even my crew. I think everyone has they're like, yo, what's up? I think that's one of the main things that I think that hurts a live show is that rappers, cuff the mic.
Yeah, but not everybody agree.
Only 10% of the time when I seen the sound man really get it right to where you can hold the mic like a mic. I mean, only 10%. That's when you're doing maybe, if you rocking something like American Music Awards or some TV type shows, you may get this, you can hold a mic like that. You know what I'm saying? And very few concerts, they really have it where you're supposed to just go ahead and hold a mic like that, you know what I mean?
Never put the mic down by your side like this, because that's what causes feedback. People always wonder, why is it feeding back? And they put the mic down because they're just holding it down. But usually when you hold the mic down, you're putting it into the monitors that's in front, usually on stage. So what you want to do is always face the audience, center stage, with an upright position, this hand extended, talking to people who your eyes and ears may not be necessarily looking at or communicating to. Your hands are doing it. I would suggest that you wear clothes in layers, because when you taking off stuff, it always makes you seem like you're moving faster than you really are. And that's what the MC is trying to get the crowd hyped. So you wear a hat, with a brim, so that you can play with the brim, switch it around, boom. I come on with either 3 or 4 jackets I usually wear at night. And I take off 1, 2, 3. By the time I'm done, I'm down to a t-shirt. The t-shirt's sweaty. The hat's done turned a few times. The crowd feels like they've grown with me. They've developed a relationship with me. They've saw me break down in layers. Finally, have something to give the crowd. It works every time. I would hardly ever step on stage and just MC. I would step on stage, hand out my CD, hand out pictures. You can go to Kinko's and print up color copies of your face for less than your weed habit.
I want you to take this shit.
Print up your flyers of your face and a number where people can get to you. Hand out your stuff and then commence to rock in the party.
Kenny, music! Yo!
Your dogs in the kennel, walking your projects and let off in the middle. Door to door, I'm coming like I'm shopping the demo. Doctor, and you get no love like Jan Brady. Me, I'm fucking women, even ambulance ladies. Barbers can't fade me. Throw down your clippers. In New York all the time, but not around September. Y'all fools, cause Brick City crown for gully. Brooklyn, I got niggas in your town that love me. I used to spot Biggie up top, sitting with C's. Real niggas do real things things when the mission is weed. Can't stop me, can't blow me, can't steer me wrong. Baby boy, fetal position, barely born. See, I know y'all been eating too long. Now fuck y'all little niggas. I'm going after the boss that put you on. I treat the game like a joke. You talking about the grams on your boat like the fans wanna row. I packed up 2 hoes that's ready to play. Got the best of both worlds, not Kelly and Jay. Call me Gilla.
The master right here, Redman.
See, man, he just got that raw street element. He got comedy in him, he got voice, he got style.
He chose to put his hoodie on and have his hat like that. He chose that. Why? He's trying to separate himself from the crowd. He's trying to distinguish his uniqueness. As wild as I could get, as unique or gully as I could look, different from whatever you may be seeing, I need to get there. So here he is, and look at his hand movements. He's directing his energy in a more direct kind of way here.
He just dropped it, man. That's a rhyme you hear at a concert and just be like, man, Redman lit that up. He go say that rhyme anywhere and people gonna be like, geeked off that.
And see how he breaks down into that? See, and then he gets humble with it. After he's unslapped you up, then he slinks back into, yeah, I'm back again, it's me.
Yeah, he rhyming about 2 worlds now is ready to play. Got the best of both worlds, not Kelly and Jay. Them words rhyming, it just sounds sweet. The way he rhymed it, but it made sense too. So it's like, Redman just the epitome of it.
So, you earned a reputation battling, and everybody think your demo is banging. So now what? How do you break into the game? It's obvious. You connect with an MC who's already where you want to be.
There are no hookups in hip-hop. Stop looking for a hookup. It's hard to earn. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get a lot of work doing this. You know what I'm saying? So get out there and do the damn thing.
When I tour Europe, I come home with MCs from every country. You know, CDs of rappers in every language. And you know what? There's a lot of good stuff out there. There's a lot of whack stuff too.
I listen to some of them. I give some of them to my A&R of my own label, and I give them to the A&R Rough Rider.
Sometimes you can't listen, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like all the hustle and bustle that goes on with this rap music. But, you know, when you do have time, you do listen, because you never know. You might come upon that diamond in the rough, and like you might just bump into the next DMX, Jay-Z to expand your career.
I try to, yeah, definitely. I throw it in and listen to it, definitely.
I met Lil Flip a long time before he got signed. Pastor Troy actually gave me a CD before he got on. And I actually threw Pastor Troy's out because he was on the cover holding the Bible in one hand and preacher's gown and a gun. And I was like, get out of here.
But getting a demo heard involves more than handing it off to an MC. Tired of y'all motherfuckers running up on me with that listen to my demo shit.
I listen to it based on what you look like, what you said when you gave it to me, how you approached me, what the tape looks like, the CD, how it's packaged. I mean, if the handoff feels good, then I'm gonna put it in a special pocket. If it just looks like you wrote with a marker on a CD, it doesn't have a case, you walk up to me with your head down, your body language is not very confident, you know, I'm looking at all this shit, your appearance is not looking like, okay, you could be a rap star, because I don't think there's any one element that says you're a rap star, like the look or the sound or the production. I just think it's a combination of magical things that's gonna make you a star.
Every CD I get, I don't listen to. I can't. But I drive a lot. So I take that opportunity to hear what the real streets are saying.
Where's the number? That's the first thing I'm asking, because if I like it, I want to be able to contact you. And what is on here? What am I about to listen to? Are you rapping? Are you singing? Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate it? And if you're saying under a 10, then I'm handing it back to you, because I don't have time to listen to anything less. And who am I gonna convince if you can't even convince me that you're hot?
Most MCs have busy lives, and getting a demo to them is not necessarily the best way to get heard.
A lot of times I be on the move, or the artist might be on the move, and they might not have time to listen. They might say, well, you got a CD. You know, and they might take your CD, and some artists don't listen to CDs. I know I done got a lot of CDs I just ain't listened to because I ain't had the time to really, I didn't even have the space, like the mental space to want to sit down and listen to it. But some I do, it just depends on what mood I'm in. I'm just being real about the situation.
Like people come up to me, like with CDs and stuff, I either take them, but I still tell them, I can't help you right now, I'm still trying to get up there, you know what I'm saying?
To be honest with you, I heard Dr. Dre say it the other day, and I totally agreed with him. He was like, he'd never heard a dope demo tape. And I haven't either. My experience is, if you dope, I'm not gonna hear about you from you giving me a demo tape. It's gonna be a reference. Somebody I know is gonna come to me and tell me you dope. Or I'm gonna go to a show, I'm gonna see you, and I'm gonna be like, wow, he's dope. Or I'm gonna see you in the street, and you don't have a demo tape.
A lot of the demos I'm getting, it's like, dude, do you know that this sounds exactly like this guy? You know? But then again, they might get a deal quicker than like if Gangstar was shopping a deal today. Because we sound original, and they don't.
Breaking into the game is hard work, yo. As hard as putting a demo together. So what's the best approach?
Eastside Boys Lil Jon worked in Jermaine Dupri's office for years. And Jermaine never said, get your ass off that office and get in the booth and get crunk. You know what I'm saying? Lil Jon had to get out there and find his way. He affiliated himself with guys like me and got in the studio and did his personal thing away from his job. And now he's, you know, making millions. So it's like a star will be found.
And so I listen, and every once in a while I come across someone who is talented. And I say, can you travel? I don't even take them the record company route. It's not necessary. I say, can you travel? Because if you can travel, you can get some money.
Everybody wants stuff to happen so quick, and they want big money right there and all that. And that ain't how this game works, unfortunately.
Because in the game, niggas they can get on automatically on some other shit, and the game is not like that. You just can't get on like that. And I be trying to tell these MCs that shit.
All the top motherfuckers right now, Jay-Z, Nas, Beyonce, all these motherfuckers that done did it. They had to struggle to get where they at. Why not go through that struggle and be rich in the end? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just hopping on somebody's shit like, yeah, I'm one of the back dudes, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming up next.
But I won't take somebody's CD and then don't just listen to it. Sometimes I'll listen to it and give it like 10 seconds, like, nope, that's it, crack. Throw it out the window, nope, that ain't my style. Because it might not be my style. But I will listen just on the strength that I've been in that situation before. And I never had to come up and make anybody listen to my shit. But I did have to come up and get into the industry and say, play my shit.
It was once said by my man Cube, shake my hand but make it a firm shake. Say what's up Ice Cube but then break. I mean, basically just make it short and sweet. And if a person feel like they want to hear a rap and they willing to listen, give them your best rap. And don't expect nothing. You can't expect nothing. You gotta understand that every artist ain't your avenue to get to your record deal. It's really irritating at a point where a cat just keep coming up and if you really on a mission, you might be somewhere with your little girl, your daughter, or somewhere with your mother, and you know you might not really want to spend that time doing that at the time.
I made demo tapes and solicited them to labels for many years. And the moment I stopped doing it is when I started becoming successful in this business. When I was like, you know what, fuck a demo tape, I'm gonna do it myself, is when everything started happening.
I love y'all, goodbye.
With hip-hop high in popularity, the MC has become a profitable commodity to the record label. But this has brought about friction as the artists struggle with the high-pressure demands put on them by the commercial world.
We as artists, we always get these pressures from record companies nowadays, like, yo, we need the single. We need something that we could play on radio, you know what I mean?
The commercial pressure at first was daunting, and at first was a lot of pressure, and you know, I tried to write certain records, probably records you will never hear.
This is what's popping on the radio now. True. They'll be like, word, get the fuck out of here.
We never really had no, you know what I'm saying, we always had creative control for our
words.
So
but they still try to sneak in that shit.
They still try to throw that little advice, that little bullshit.
What the fuck do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that creative shit sound good. I love so-and-so and them, that's great. But you in the business now, man.
With the pressure on to get radio play and CD sales, a lot of people would say, the MC is getting lost in the mix.
Labels aren't trying to build careers. They're not trying to, do artist development to where, they're gonna build an artist for the long haul.
There is no artist development. If you don't happen at radio in the first 5 or 6 weeks, you're over.
They don't really give a fuck about you. Nobody really gives a fuck about you at the end of the day. You just a dollar sign anyway.
Which record company? Because I hate certain people, but I won't say their names. But I hate them, but you know who you is. Call my lawyer.
I don't think record companies understand artists at all. They're run by lawyers and accountants. And so when you're making decisions and you're arguing about music, you're arguing with lawyers and accountants, and you have to check yourself and be like, wait a second.
I know the labels look at their artists as being disposable. That's the whole purpose of marketing them in a trendy, gimmicky type of way. That way you could sell a whole bunch of records off of this here gimmick while it's in style, while it's, it's fashionable now. And then when it's over, you ship them on and sign somebody else.
This is a shady, grimy, backstabbing, yellow belly, son of a bitch business.
They come in their office and they have all of the major magazines for the week or the month lined up. They have the MTV on this station, BET on this one, and they have the local radio station is playing hip hop in the background, and it's just like, okay, I know what's hip, and they try to like box it and categorize it.
He's a West Coast artist. He's an East Coast artist. She's neo soul. He's old school. And I believe that that's the problem.
I know that, man, if I do what I'm trying to do, I'm definitely not gonna be here 5 years from now. In this game, I'm gonna be like over in Rome or some shit, or jet skiing, or just doing something different, hopefully. And if I don't do what it is I wanna do, then I'll be sitting my ass up in there making beats for motherfuckers like, you like this? What you think of this?
In the fly or die world of the big record labels, the question comes up, how can artists survive and even take control of their destiny?
All this stuff is just like, it's corny, man. This whole game, this whole industry. That's why I'm gonna rape y'all and I'm out of here. I'm gonna get 100 million from y'all and I'm gone.
I love the people that run my record label, Jay, Dame, Biggs, you know what I'm saying? And they're really pro artists. Rockefeller is like really a family. They're not fighting for you just so you can sell records. They want you to have a better life. It's like, I feel like they like the Jews in that sense. And they grab kids from the ghetto and adopt them and raise them like they kids and teach them how to actually get money.
Once you learn the game, you realize in the end that you gotta use that game as a poster, just like they do, just like they use promotion as a poster to sell a record and get the money off the record, and you don't hardly get none of that money. You gotta take that same promotion that they put out there to sell that record as your promotion to be able to go start other businesses.
When I do panels in New York, kids raise their hand and ask me, how do I get a record deal? When I do panels in the South and the Midwest, kids raise their hands and say, Wendy, I've sold 15,000 records, how do I get it to 30? I can work with that. I can work with that mentality. That how do I get a record deal? How do I come to somebody with my hand out? I can't fuck with that.
An MC selling their CDs independently can expect to make 70 to 80% of the profits. While an MC signed to a label will usually get 10% or less. Boo. The economics speak for themselves, people, so what do you do?
I don't really think shopping a deal is the thing right now. Press it up or get CDs made up, walk your dogs, go to the clubs, go to the stations, whatever you gotta do, open mic, whatever, showcases, whatever you gotta do to lock down your area, that's how you should do it. That's where the game is at now. It's back to that independent label thing.
Once the album is done, Playboy, then comes the promotion, which means touring. The grind of touring is, the opposite of what you'd expect. Your carriage is a van, if you're lucky a tour bus. Along for the ride are tour managers, sound men, entourage, DJs, and groupies. It's not for the weak of mind or spirit as you shuttle from one city to the next, and the food is terrible.
Best thing to be on tour is,
promoting yourself and being able to be close to the people that you ain't ever had any idea was even around. You know what I'm saying? The types of people you meet, you know, the many different vibes that inspires new ideas and new vibes in you.
12 sleeping spaces, that's how everybody get down who rapping and on the road. If you're independent and got your paper, you know, that's how you do.
Being on tour, it's extremely hard to explain. It's like seeing it's one of those things you got to see. It's not what people think at all. As a matter of fact, most people who are trying to be in the game like that and trying to get the records out, whether they're doing it independent or want to go on the label, even a lot of the people make it that far, touring ain't for them. It ain't for everybody. Can't everybody do that shit.
The mundane, the everyday, same things, you know what I'm saying? You start to lose perspective of where you at. You in the same surroundings, you know what I'm saying? So every day almost like melds into one.
Dale, Tajay, Fast Souls, you know, it's 12 of us. This is my house, this is where I've been living, right here, you know.
You're in a bus with 12 people for about anywhere from a month to 3 or 3.5, and you don't get to go to your room. You don't get to go take a shit like that. I mean, when you get off tour, you really want to go take a shit on your toilet, like, this is tight. You feel me? Like it's weird like that. I mean, you wake up, there's people in your face. Everybody's smell is there. Some people's clean, some people's a little messier. Some people eat food that make you want to vomit. You know. Some people smoke, some people don't. I mean, it's every little thing. It's the clutter, it's confinement. The Bronx is the size of a coffin. And you wake up in the middle of the night, fuck your head up.
Back here hanging out, you know, chilling. I guess this would be like den or some shit.
But there is an upside to touring.
Being able to network with the other groups you touring with, because, again, you know, you can collaborate and, you know, you can always make new and next level and other type of vibe, type of joints that you probably would have never had the opportunity to make if you didn't come on tour, because y'all don't connect like that on a regular basis. Being able to just go out and party in the different areas too is cool. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to see how and what rocks the neighborhoods and the areas in these different regions. You get to get a closer look to like, what's the bang shit out here? What they rocking to over there? What they loving out here? You know what I'm saying?
Boy, Tyrone, come on! Now who had to know that make you act real dumb? Yeah, I'll break down for.
So what advice is there for the up-and-coming MC?
If you're from Arkansas, the minute Tigger, P. Diddy, anybody from a record company or artist touchdown, you better have the state on lock. I want to hear from the minute I get my bags, yo, you need to check out so-and-so from Arkansas, they crazy.
Nigga, if you think you can rap, don't let nobody tell you what you can do. You determine your own destiny. I never let nobody else, no one man could have stopped me from doing what I'm trying to do.
I say take it very seriously, and if your only goal is just to get paid or to see yourself on TV, then I don't think you really in the right business, you know?
Definitely put something down that's timeless, something that no other artist can convey quite as well as you.
If it's underground hip hop that you like, support that. If it's commercial, support that. Whatever it is, support that. Stand by it, and stay true to what you believe in, man. How you?
Make sure that you can control a lot of what's going on. You control your music, you control your schedule, you control your money, and then you don't have to really worry too much. You'll be comfortable.
Don't be a stupid rapper. A stupid rapper is a motherfucker that has somebody else tell them what to do, which is not always wrong, but if it's something that you feel that you don't have to do, you really have to question it and find out why they want you to do it.
I would say do it yourself. There's no such thing to me as a music industry. So if you do it for yourself so well that the music industry comes looking for you, then you can make a decision whether you want to deal with them and, jump into that world or that realm.
And I can only tell people, hold your head, getting into this business, because you want to enjoy yourself and be happy, and life is about being happy, and a lot of people could want to take that away from you.
You have to expect the pitfalls of the industry and the label, but you definitely have to believe in yourself.
Fear and MCing don't go together. And not just fear of in battling or something like that, but fear of the record company. Fear of journalists asking you those hard questions. Fear of rejection. Fear of failure. Fear of getting ripped off. All that got to go out the window if you're gonna be a great MC.
I just want to say to all the little kids who are the future, you know what I'm saying? If y'all thinking of getting into the rap game, I got a little bit of advice for you. Don't bite my shit. Hello.
Yo, that was dope, right? The MC, part 2. Cutie 3 Entertainment, what up, Josh? Back. KRS-One. Be the spire, you know you on fire. Yeah! Touch the music. KRS-One. Talk to him. When will you become the master MC, son? First you gotta see one and hear what he decrees, son. If you ain't never seen one, you will never be one. And I ain't really seen none, really. Really? When you bust a rhyme, cats gotta say what the dilly. Girls be like, he's so silly, but you the master MC, really. You rhyme on and off time to get cats' minds off the 9-milli. Or on it, now feel me. Radio, I off it. They talking that shit in my ears, not a toilet. I don't care how hype the song get. In them clubs with a master MC, you don't want it. If the sound shut off, we rock. 10 people in the spot, we rock. Bad weather, we rock. Cats be mesmerized and energized. Finally they realize all them lies when we rock. Answer the door when we knock, cause we rock. Big up Little Eye in Japan, man, she rocks. The master MC is like Jet Li, a hero. Gliding over treetops, we hot. New Jacks wishing that we stop. They seem so shocked when we rock them, can't believe that. Believe what? That we rock 19 years and we here, man, it's obvious we hip hop. KRS Ichiban Takume Ka. My lyrical be living on, growing great top. Prophetic, athletic, energetic, lyrical star. I reckon for many skeptics, you know who we are. QE3 Entertainment, KRS-One paying tuition and not arraignment. You gotta understand, we take it straight to the pavement. MC2, yeah, we say it. Or said it. KRS-One never dead it. This is how we get down, we said it. With QE3 and Vi. KRS-One's lyrics be fly, we can never die. And why? Vi, it's in the house. KRS-One is in the house. Yes, my man Josh is in the house. QE3 Entertainment turns out.
Yo, down. Look, player, MC to me means magazines and clips that'll rip through your pelvis. Leave you rapping with Elvis. Try to tell kids to chill, let daddy speak, but you still insist on hitting weak like a 90-pound DB. See me, I hustled into this industry, and just as I suspected, I was the best cat lyrically. Not RPX, but I bet you gon' remember me being through this rap war, rapping up amphetamines. I never seen so many niggas that spittin' junk. Where I'm from, that's 40 to the face, no cover up. Don't fuck with us. It's the hunters what? And them killers that you run with, dog, they run from us. I'm a beast and the best, not from east or the west. It's a Chi-Town thing, better learn to deal with it. Cause every nigga out now suck to me. And if your flow is sick, I'm full blown N-I-D-S. Yeah, back. KRS-One, legend to phenomenon.
I'ma do this my entire